episode
Third episode of
episode of
Hanging
Hanging and
Jiving.
Jiving. Welcome.
And this episode is called God's Business is Good Business.
Okay. Is it always good business?
If God is involved, yes,
Okay.
it is.
Is it,
And about good times and how Florida is according to our producer, a hater again.
yeah.
Once again, she's a hater.
She's a hater. Yeah, I have to agree with this one. When I first watched it, like when I was a kid, I kind of agreed with Florida, but now I don't. I disagree with Florida on this episode.
Well, I had to watch this 3 times,
You
so
did.
I don't. Yeah, I watched it again before we did before this. Um, I I agree and I agree and disagree.
But we'll get to that. So we'll get to that later when we get into the episode, and then we'll talk about what would be changed because there's a lot I would change. Now that I watched it again, I definitely have a total different view. Um, and I'm glad I did watch it again because my view was it was always different until today. It's crazy. I mean, until I watched it, just recently. So
Yeah.
it just totally changed my opinion
Mm,
about it. But I like this episode. I really like this episode. I've always liked this one. It's just
yeah.
different, and it's a really original storyline. I don't think I've ever seen, a lot of storylines from the 70s and 80s are, kind of recycled in a certain, it maybe in one way or another. And this one, I don't think I've seen anything like this one before or after. Maybe Martin. I don't know.
Mm.
I'd have to think about it. Um,
Oh yeah, Martin. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't think he had a preacher, but I think he had a friend that was like that, maybe.
No, it was Pam's. It was Pam's
Oh,
uncle or cousin that was a crooked preacher. Yeah, and Martin's mom was caught up in that. But yeah,
that was very
that
classic
was
episode.
funny. That was funny. That was
That was a
funny.
classic episode. I don't think that was, but that's not as similar as this one, but it's just a
Mhm.
little bit. But that I think, well, of
Yeah,
course, Martin Lawrence is a genius, and everything he did in that series is just funny. But anyway, getting on with this episode.
yeah.
So let's go ahead and start it.
Okay. So, all right. So, yeah, the first scene is Florida. What is Florida looking for her purse? She thought, oh, she's okay. So Michael doesn't. Michael's around there wearing holy shoes. Well,
Well,
he ain't got no shoes, and he's over there on the couch with a holy sock on, reading a magazine. And she's Florida is asking JJ to pick up Michael's shoes, and he's complaining about it. He don't want to go. And then Thelma comes over here and asks him to get something from the store, something with her. I don't know what, some lip stuff or face stuff, something for her face, something. Um, and they're doing the usual arguing back and forth. I didn't see nothing bigger on this scene.
well, the
Um,
good thing about this is that at least with Thelma, she's got all that hair out of her face, and she can see her face. I think that these early episodes with her afro, I don't like
yeah.
her hair. Her hair gets better as the you know season goes
What's
on.
wrong with the afro?
It's just too much. Not that the afro is bad; it just hides her face. You can't see of her face, and when the later episodes, you'll see that
Yeah,
more of her hair is put together and everything, and so you can see
yeah.
her face, and that afro takes away from her face. So, and then things get better, is with her outfits. So, it'll come together.
Yeah. Um, What else? Oh, and then Michael turns on the TV, and on the TV is this preacher man, James's good friend, what is that? Smiling Sam, the happiness man.
Yeah.
And so he's kind of like he's a good, he's like a prosperity preacher, um a, a scam, all I can see. It's just a, scammer. um and he's on the TV, and then what Michael, okay, take it away, Joni. You can.
I just, well, the thing is, like, I, first of all, the shoes, she sends JJ out to buy the shoes, just gives them money.
Yeah.
They have a TV, so therefore that's just a little bit, I mean, it's kind of just, the, I guess the thing that kind of just gets my attention is that, so you guys do have money, some, to buy shoes
Well,
and
some, but
to have a TV. How long will the TV last in the projects? Wouldn't somebody steal that? No?
they could, but they have a black and white. Oh, I mean, it looks, I guess it looks like the age of it then, like a 70s TV, but it's a black and white. And by this time,
Yeah, but not
people have,
everybody had a color. Black people didn't get colors until colored TV. Most people didn't. I would say the black
yeah,
household, black people didn't get color TVs until maybe the late 70s. So having a black and white TV is pretty standard. It's not, it wasn't outdated. It wasn't that outdated. It was good to have a
it
color
wasn't that
TV, but it's
outdated,
not
but
that bad.
I,
Did you have a color TV when you was 75? I mean,
in
sorry, but
75, I was born then, so I wouldn't know, but I imagine maybe we had, I don't know.
so
In
yeah.
75, I don't know. I was a baby then. So all I know is when I got older, I saw color TV. By the time I was watching TV, it was in color. So that was
Yeah,
like,
which
it would
was
have been like
pretty much
a
like I
couple
said, the
years.
80s. Yeah, by the time the 80s came around, everybody had color. That's the TV we had
But
in the 70s. That's the kind of TV. We didn't have a black and white, but we had a TV like that. So therefore, they
yeah,
had
but
kind
I
of
mean, I don't
money.
think they would be. Yeah, okay. So they're not like really bad off. I mean, they could have got the TV. They could have got the TV when James had a good job for a hot minute. He might have had like a really good job for like a month and was able to afford even a black and white TV. So, and you know, it always breaks down. So it's probably not. Of course, it's not going to be top of the line. So
I
it's
think if
always
I was the producer, I think what it is, the producers probably wrote it in so they, you know, to make it look normal so that people who have TVs can relate because I don't think that everybody had TV in the projects. I think if I rewrite wrote it, I would have them act Walona's house watching it because she's the one that has the
yeah,
money.
yeah.
And also with the shoes, I think, yeah, she probably would have had some money for the shoes, but I think um I don't think that I think she would have probably I would have wrote it where she would have had JJ give Michael his shoes because it's always a hand me down. I always got hand me downs as well too.
Yeah,
And so it's not one of those things where you could just be like, oh,
yeah, but
here's the money,
could
and go buy the shoes.
Michael
No
really
one
wear
has money.
JJ shoes? Could Michael really wear JJ shoes? Michael is
You would
short.
stuff them you would stuff
JJ
them
is
with
really tall.
socks so that he can wear them until he grew out of them. No one would just be like, oh, I got shoes. They would just either they would be like, okay, well, you need shoes, but we have to save up for those. And in the meantime, you're going to wear your brother, or she would find a way to mend those shoes.
Did she give him money to buy him new shoes, or pick up new shoes, or pick up from a maybe a repair person, a repair shoe?
Yeah, that's a good question. Look at that.
Yeah, like I don't. What
But the
was
thing is
this?
that why would you go pick up some shoes? And you should definitely, for a growing boy, he definitely needs to try the shoes on. That's something that what rich people do. Oh, just go out and buy the shoes. Here's the money.
But
No.
she might have not been buying the shoes.
Or maybe he bought them at the grocery store, like in the bin
Wait
of
a
the grocery.
minute.
Remember when you could buy shoes at the grocery store? Airwax.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, that's probably what he did. He's like, oh, well, he's probably a size what I'll just go to the bin and just look for some shoes and then get it from Michael.
See, it's a shoemaker.
Oh
So
yeah,
it
people are
might have
repairing
been,
their regular shoes instead of buying a new pair. Yeah, this is who he was
yeah,
repairing them. Yeah, she
yeah,
said that it was they were getting it from the shoemaker.
yeah.
So yeah, so she probably just
So
had the
yeah,
money to
because
go
a
pay
lot
the
of stuff,
shoemaker.
they ain't got the money to yeah, they ain't got the money to buy new shoes. I didn't think it was like new shoes.
Yeah, okay. All right, so we got
So
established that she went. They Michael got getting his shoes repaired. JJ was going to pick him up. They're watching the TV, which I'm sure James, whatever, like you said, James had a windfall one day, and then he was able to
I
afford a TV.
I believe that. Or they could, yeah, bought a TV on time and made payments. Who knows? But like I said, it wasn't no fancy TV. It always kept breaking down.
Well, yeah, okay. So anyway, they're watching, like you said, Reverend Sam, and I guess they were. It's kind of it's reminiscent of the Reverend Ike of the
Yeah,
70s, who was the prosperity preacher, I guess,
yeah,
of the was on TV. He was on TV in the 70s, so pretty good. Whoever wrote this is pretty good writing this storyline. And like I was saying, I have a lot to say that Reverend Ike, he was a prosperity preacher, and you know, he would, if he just like the prosperity preachers now, they'll, I'll send you a blessing and give me some money. And they did. And
yeah,
Reverend Ike was pretty well off and had good money. And so some people thought that he was scamming them. Um, and I'll talk about that in a minute. I don't think so. I don't feel like now that I don't feel like that. But so, so they're watching that. And then James comes out and talks about how he knows Reverend Sam and that they were in the war together or something. And
yeah,
I guess he tells Mike about the time they were in the war, the foxhole or something, and
yeah.
so nice little
Um,
story. So
it did, Michael. It did. Oh no, 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 no. That funny line was when Reverend Sam came. Never mind. I'll get to that. That was funny.
yeah, so yeah, just telling him how, and then I think James takes really pride in that his friend um called him honest and honest James, and so
Yeah,
he takes
Honest
pride that
James.
he was an honest James, and I think that's the theme of the episode, which is kind of now that I think about it, it's kind of just detestable to me. I was like, nothing being honest is
What?
bad. It's just like that's the how they like to propagandize in the 70s, 80s with the TV shows with this honesty is best and do the right thing. And I'm like I don't like that because sometimes you have to do what you gotta do. And I'm gonna refer back to because I know this is what you can. I'm gonna refer back to something that you can understand is like when we were talking about facts of life, and a lot of the episodes there very sticky sweet and do the right thing, and you know everything's solved at the end of the episode. That's what
Yeah.
this episode's giving. So basically, they're saying, it's better to be honest than to be rich. So that's why I have a problem with this
Well,
episode.
my take is on this is just not so not in a way of like doing the not in the like the sugar coat or the sugary let's all do the good thing. It's just, I mean, it's kind of like you're. I get the money part, and I know we're going off topic because I mean not off topic, but we're going in another. We're what do we call, like,
We're going off
um
on a tangent or whatever. Yeah.
yeah,
I don't think we
because
are. I don't think we are because I'm ready
I
to talk about it.
I with this episode, watching this episode, and I get James' point and I get Florida's point. I get both their points, and I'm not trying to be goody goody.
Okay, what's Florida's point? What's Florida's point?
Well, Florida's point is kind of what you're saying, is like, let's, let James stay honest, James. Florida doesn't want James to, you know, do whatever to get money. Whatever means whatever. Even if it is like, what I'm saying, like, just, I mean, knowing that this this preacher has no interest of, saving people's lives, making them feel better. And I understand, if people gonna fall for it, then that's on them. But still, James is having a little bit, he's involved in that. And what I'm saying, it's just like Florida sees, like, this is, it ain't right. It ain't right. It doesn't matter if the people are dumb enough to fall for this shit. It's like he's getting involved with a preacher who knows he's scamming. He knows, because he ain't got no, he's not loving God. He's not caring about uplifting the people. He's not caring about, just doing true God's work. And he's not caring about that. All he wants is the people's money. He wants to see how many people he can get over on and just get the money. And Florida sees, like, okay, this is not, I don't want James to be involved in this, because no matter what, even though James don't go to church, he don't do, he's still got that good conscience and don't want to do, what I'm saying, wants to do the good for his children, the good for his wife. I mean, that's, that's what Florida wants. She wants him to stay like that, to have good morals. And it's not on some sugary shit. It's just on, you know, just, at the end of the day, you're gonna look at yourself and see, like, oh, you're a piece of shit, just like the preacher. And I don't want to be married to that. That's just me. That's just me. On the other hand, I get James. All he wants is to take care of his kids. All he wants is just, he's not seeing that right now. He's not seeing that in the early episode. He's talking about, fuck it, I'm making $700 a day. I ain't got to do no hard labor. I ain't got to do none of that. I make some easy money. And people can, fall into that trap. It's just like, whatever, going out and selling drugs or something. I don't know. Just make some easy money, just like that, and for not really doing anything. So I don't know. I see him as, I get it, but I'm still on Florida side. She can be a hater on some over the top things. Like I wouldn't want James to go. If I was Florida, I wouldn't want him to go with the preacher either. Because he might, you don't know what did all this shit going. You see what preachers get involved today. And today they can get caught up in some bullshit. So Florida's like, no, I don't want that. I don't want you because yeah, you might make some easy money, but in the long run, you're gonna get caught up. The preacher gonna find some other scam that's gonna put your ass in jail or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You never know. So no, I don't want, him now with the other episodes when him getting playing pool for some rent money, you can do that all day. That don't bother me. You just shooting pool. That is I wouldn't now that I ain't on Florida side with that. That's just over the top. That's just over the top. That's just him playing pool against his friends, getting some extra money for the rent, which he had to do. So that this I get.
I disagree. I just feel like now that I saw it, I think it's a great idea. Oh yeah, well, let me just back up. First of all, the reason why I have a different is because like a few years ago, well, I used to watch, I still do sometimes, Infinite Waters, who's on YouTube, and a lot of positive messages that are on YouTube. And so after a while, my algorithm started putting up Reverend Ike. That was coming up, and the messages weren't just what was it was from the 70s, but they would repackaging them as positive messages. So I listened to them and they were positive. They were saying exactly the same thing as the New Age, the secret, everything that Reverend Ike was saying is the same thing that, they're saying today. It's about thinking positive and, having a positive attitudes. And I'm like, he's not saying anything different than what they're doing. And he made a lot of money. So therefore, I'm like, oh, I see it now. Yeah, you can say I was drinking the Kool Aid. I was watching. I could have, been drinking the Kool Aid and watching him, and I could have gotten caught up and been like, well, he doesn't. Reverend Ike doesn't is not alive anymore. But I could say, well, I think he deserves the money. So my thing is like, first of all, it's no different from church. I mean, it isn't because the preacher could be telling you anything and you give money for that. You tithe. I mean, some people say, well, you're tithing to God. I get it. Yeah, but really, you're really tithing to the church and their bills. You're keeping the lights on there. Second of all, it's like what I was going towards the episodes is like I get it. James wants to be honest, and I get it. Florida wants him to be honest, and this is a marriage. But then at the same time, how is this any different? Going into there and scamming. You're really not scamming people if you're telling them to think positive. That I think I'd rather have my man do that than go out and sell drugs. And there's more of a risk there. There's more of a risk of going to sell drugs. I mean, yeah, you're still scamming those people that buying drugs, but what's the difference? You have somebody, but and so you're probably ruining more lives selling drugs. So therefore, I would want James to go out and sell, to go to do the prosperity thing because it's not illegal and you are making good money. The another thing too, going back to the format of the happy thing. That's basically what they're trying to say. They're saying, oh, don't get involved in stuff that's gonna make you more money. Be honest and poor. No, and that's the message that they're trying to send in this episode, and I don't like it. And it's the message that they've been trying to send. I mean, I think they still do. You see it in like TP movies where
So
they try to do the moral thing, like, well, speaking like the one with Sana Lathan, even though she cheated on her husband, they're like, well, she cheated on her husband and now she just doesn't have. That's
yeah,
not just because
yeah,
you cheat on your husband and you get a lot of money does not mean that your life's over. It just means that you just made a mistake. Your life still goes on.
yeah.
You still could have a career. She still could have a career. So that's what I don't like about this episode. It's like you're just playing that, just be honest and don't make money, even if you're scamming people. And another thing too, and then here's the second part of my argument is like, yes, you definitely should go out. I mean, back when we're growing up, they would always say stay in school. I used to hate that. I used to hate that shit because I'm like, why don't you go to school? You know what school's like? It's boring. I hate it. You go to school. Here I'm here today in 2024, and I'm telling you, kids drop out of school and go and do a prosperity ministry. Make the money. And nothing too is like, I have another thing is like, 2024, which even though we're just this is like the second month of 2024, in the past month, I've seen a lot of videos on YouTube where people are exposing people without any discernment or just not discernment. I'm just saying just like any inhibition or anything like that. Like I if depending on when people are watching this, Cat Williams. I mean, Shannon Sharp has been having some guests since January for the last 4 weeks, and they've been people have just been going out and just saying, just accusing people of everything, and it's been making money, and it's not illegal, and so therefore that's why I'm saying right now when I saw this video, I mean this episode, it changed everything because everything has changed now, where you can say whatever you want, you could do whatever you want. So if that guy, that preacher that was on, making money now, he wouldn't be wrong. He'd be revered because he's actually making money. And that's why it says God's business is good business. Bad business, like they say, bad press is actually good press. And that's what's been going on for the last 4 weeks. And so if this guy comes out and he's making money and he's giving prosperity and people giving his money and they're stupid enough to do it, more power to you, because that's what 2024 is. That's what's giving right now. I mean, as far as this month is saying, hey, come out and say whatever the f you want to say and make money off of it. And when now I'm watching this, I'm like, you know, hey, go ahead, do it. And then this moral of the story of being honest and doing what's right, that's out the door. And it's been out the door for me because it's making me sick to my stomach with this just do what's right, and at the end of the episode everything's good. No. So that's my story. That's what I had to get off my chest. Now let's talk about this.
I'm
You have a rebuttal?
okay.
You have a rebuttal?
No, I agree with some of the stuff. I agree with just telling all. I'm
Yeah, tells you nothing too is like you said. You
I'm with this whole Shannon. I'm with this. I've been with Cat Williams with just saying it. Just finally telling, because if it's your truth, tell it. If it's your
yeah,
truth,
and I think the
tell
thing,
it. Don't let none of these people saying, none of these freaking celebrities want to save face because they don't want to lose their money. Tell about that. Go ahead and tell about, because it's been coming. It's been, all that stuff has been coming. A lot of that stuff I've already heard and I've already believed. So it was no surprise to me. It was no surprise to me whatsoever. Um my thing is, I don't want to get caught up in nothing and end up going to jail. Because sometimes I'm just saying, like,
yeah, I mean, I get it.
I
Well, the
get
thing,
I get
well,
it. I get the preacher. I get what you're spreading positivity. I get it. But you don't know what these preachers do behind the scenes.
wait.
Uh uh I don't even know what I was.
Wait,
No,
wait, but
I'm just saying, like, I wouldn't want. That's probably where I'm siding with Florida, because I think Florida is maybe thinking, he's gonna get caught up in something that is way over his head
yeah,
with this preacher. And this is what, and I'm sorry, some of these big time preachers that, yeah, you preach prosperity, positive, all that stuff, but we don't know what they do behind the scenes with their money.
yes.
And you might get caught up in some type of fraud, something. So I'm sorry. I get it. You wanna, what I'm saying, you wanna make all that money, but sometimes it ain't fucking worth it. If it's
But
gonna
you just
cost
said,
your freedom. That's all I'm saying.
but you just said that but it would be okay if James went and hustled at the pool hall. What's the difference between hustling at the pool hall and then just
Because that's something, that's a few dollars. I ain't talking about, like, that's a few hundred
but it's
$100.
but it's still getting money. I mean, my thing is like, if you're going to go to the
It's getting
hustle,
money. It's getting, yeah, I'm betting on some dude that wants to bet $100 that I win against him in pool.
yeah, it's like I
Compared
don't see
to
what the difference is. I don't see, but see, the thing is like, okay, I get it. You know, the prosperity preachers, yeah, they get in trouble because they made. I mean, if you have a
may not
church, you don't have to
pay the
pay to.
taxes. They might not pay their taxes.
Yeah,
They might get involved in some other let's say if James go with this preacher, James doesn't know every single business decision that this preacher has. All
yeah,
he's
I would, but
doing,
I was, yeah, I
I'm
was,
just
if I was
it's
Florida and I knew that, well, if I know what I know today, with that advice, I definitely would still have James go because I would be like, you go, make some money, and then bring it back so we could just get ahead. Because, I would just say, just do it enough just to get the money because
bring it back. We
it'd be just the same as to go to the pool hall to get some money just temporarily. I would say do temporarily and then come back and get the money. Just, I wouldn't have him do it for long term because
Well, he did say, he's going to be joining us for a while.
yeah, I would say just do it for just a short period of time. I would say my thing was like go and do my thing is I guess I would say go and do it just for the short while and then do something in the meantime that's going to get make us go ahead. Maybe like get some money, just get enough money so that we can have a car so we can move to Detroit so you can get a better job or do it just enough so that you can go back to school. That's what I would say to do it for. And I would definitely support him going with a preacher just to get enough money just so that he can get ahead. Not for long term because you never know. Then again, I mean, I would tell him just to do it and then start your own. I was like, yes, let him, start your own, get enough money and then start your own ministry. I mean, even though James is more than a Christian than, the dog on the street, start your own thing because I'm like, it's all a scam. Why not? And we'll be honest as we got. All you have to do is just make sure you pay your taxes. We don't really need that much. Just start a prosperity, start our own church. We're good. And then we just make sure I pay our taxes. Make sure just do enough, and that's how you build on that. We're not out in the street, selling drugs. We're not doing anything. We're just doing what. I definitely would do it. Definitely. That's why my opinion has changed. Corrupt pastor, by coincidence, I don't know. He shows up, and his friend shows up, and
Yeah.
in the suit, recycled suit that actually was also seen on the Jeffersons. I think George
Jefferson's, I
was
never knew that.
George had been wearing that same sports coat, surprisingly. But it's CBS, of course, they're gonna recycle. And it's filmed in the same
Yeah.
studio, so it works for me. So anyway, so he shows up and then, it says, hey, I've been looking for you, James. I've been wanting you to come work with me. I need some honest people. James like,
Yep.
wow, that'd be great. He starts rolling out some numbers. He says that he could make $100 a day. $100 a day even now is not too bad. He could do pretty
No.
well. Um, if he was
Well, I have a okay. I agree with something that your brother said, or
executive producer,
executive producer said.
executive producer brother.
Yeah, but go on. I'll wait.
But he was saying that the money that James would have made in the 70s is equivalent to $200,000 a year this in 2024, which is that's why I'm saying, yeah, you don't turn stuff down like that. I mean, I get it. It may be a little, not have a strong foundation as maybe going to get a corporate job. But even if you went to get a corporate job or any kind of job, 9 to 5,
Yeah.
that's not even as stable any more than doing that. And I definitely would have taken it, but that's weird to talk about that. But so then Florida, she's just pretty skeptical. She doesn't think that. I mean,
He doesn't think that he will show up. She's like questioning. Well, if he's such a good friend, how come he hasn't
yeah. So
answered
when he was there, we're talking about how
answered?
him
Yeah.
already there. So he's already there, And so then she just doesn't feel like he's reputable. That most preachers should be like the white Jesus that she has on her wall, honest and just poor and
Is
humble.
the painting on the wall in this episode?
I didn't
I
see
don't
it.
think so. I don't
So
think so.
that's basically that's where Florida's coming from. Just be honest, be humble, and and then again, I have to agree with what you said before. Is like you shouldn't just go for the money just because it's good money. Not all good money's making good money is good money. You still have to have some you have to do your research. However, I definitely. I mean, it couldn't be any worse than doing any other job that's out there. So, um, you shouldn't. Yeah, I guess you shouldn't go after any job that just for the money. You should do it because you
Yeah.
love it. But whatever. So then Florida. She doesn't think that James should be involved, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And so another thing
He
too, and
starts
then
preaching
he
and
starts doing little preaching, and then everybody's kind of getting in, the word, the Holy Ghost, I
Oh,
guess, and just kind of
okay.
going along with it, but not
I
really.
was
They're just humoring him.
look at his expressions because the way he's preaching, his expression looks really, when he's doing all that, doing the number, he looks like he's possessed or something. When I was watching this scene, it looks weird. We was like, look like it looks really weird. And then
You
he
think he
hits
looks
on
stiff?
Walona. He hits on what you didn't touch on what Walona was wearing.
Oh
Is it
yeah, we'll
our
talk. We'll have the
executive
Walona
producer
corner.
brother?
Yeah, we'll talk about Wallona's. That should be a segment where we just talk about what Wallona's wearing. Um, yeah, she had some hat with a feather on it. I'm like, I know that's
Yeah,
gotta be. That's very. I think that's a cute fashion statement, but that's
she does have white Jesus on there on the wall.
um. But I'm like looking at that hat. I'm like, that's way out of the project's you know
Yeah,
um
yeah. That
um
because
portability.
the your the note says it looks like a painting of sweet daddy. But the way she does have the hat on and whole outfit, I'm looking at it right now. Don't get me wrong. She looked sharp. She looked sharp in that, in for the 70s. But I mean, yeah, project wise,
Yeah.
it's like her outfits are on point, and I just I don't I don't understand it,
I
but
think that just the Walona character, now that I'm looking at it from and more analytically, is that they need a friend that's gonna be, because I mean every sitcom has a jovial friend that comes by, and so
yeah,
Walona's that friend, and so she doesn't fit the stereotypes of somebody who's maybe downtrodden like the
yeah,
rest of them. So they need somebody who's
yeah,
upbeat and fun and just having fun. And so if she's gonna be upbeat and fun, she's got to have a good, cute wardrobe. I mean, she can't just come in a sackcloth.
yeah.
So there you go with Lona, but it doesn't really fit with. I mean, Walona's always she's just the mainstay. I mean, she's part of the black community with what regardless. I mean, you say Walona
Yeah,
into anybody the black and they'll be like, that's like my friend. That's like she's like the friend to everybody in the black community. But
yeah,
the thing is that it just does not belong into this episode. But then you have this show is a comedy, so it's like, what are you gonna
yeah.
do? It's hard to.
She gotta be in it. She
What are you
gotta
gonna do?
be
You
in it.
can't have the sad and the happy at the same time. It's just not
Yeah,
working. It's just not. It's not good TV. It wouldn't be good TV because people can't be sad the whole time and talking about, oh, I don't have the money. I
yeah.
suppose. I
And
mean, go ahead.
yeah, okay, well okay, let's go back to the details that Sam gives James about $700, $100 a day, $700 a week. So okay, even if it is for a while, how in the world? Okay, so and your the executive producer brother's notes. It's like, so okay, so when are you gonna come home and give Florida the money if you're on the road 7 days a week? You can't. It doesn't match up.
Dre, there's wire. You could wire money. Okay.
These are from your brother's notes, okay? He's asking the questions like, when is he gonna come? I mean,
They're
700.
traveling. I'm sure one of those cities would be Chicago. It's just like when Farrakhan does his traveling, he has a Savior's Day. Doesn't he always have it in Chicago?
No,
He goes other places. He goes here or there.
he
So I
goes.
mean, sure.
He goes
I'm
to
sure if
other
he's got some.
places.
I don't know where you two are getting your
Yeah,
math from, but if
you
you
can
got money,
wire.
you can fly back. You can take the bus back. You got $700. You can take
Yes,
a flight
yeah,
and
but I'm just saying, like every day of the week, it's like, when you gonna have time to like? That's I think that's one of the, maybe one of the reasons why Florida didn't want him to go, because
oh, because
you
she's be on the road all the
you
time.
know she wants him there. I mean, yeah, you can go out of town. I mean, he went out of town for jobs and everything, but it's like in one episode, in another episode, you know, well, that's another episode that we're going to review when he gets a job out of town, out of town for a long time, and she was like, "No, I don't want you to be gone for that long." So 700. I get it, but your presence, your wife wants your presence at home. Shit, I'm a woman and I got needs. I want you sometime. And what if you can't come back until, like, what if Reverend Sam needs you on the road for like 6 months? Unless it's a very, very, emergency, you can come home. But otherwise, I don't know.
Formalities, minor formalities. I'm like,
All
you
right,
got to be
minor
kidding me.
formalities,
All
but
she's do is, I mean, if you got the money, she can travel with him. The kids can
she don't want
travel.
to be. She don't want to be. No, she's not gonna want to be gone for the kid.
That's why I couldn't do it.
Look.
I'd be like, I don't agree with you.
I'm just trying to just throw out her thinking. That's
Yeah, I
all.
get it. Yeah,
Yeah,
I definitely, you
I'm
wouldn't
throwing
want to be.
out
I
her
would.
thinking.
It makes sense. You don't want to be without your man. I get that, but when she's talking about sacrifices and all this stuff, well, why don't you sacrifice, Florida? I mean, um, I mean, there's ways to, like,
Yeah.
you can let him go, but you could still go and visit him. I mean, if I was a writer and I was Willona character,
That's
that's what I would
true.
say.
That's true.
You could go
That's
visit
true.
him. The
We
kids
can we
could
can
go on the
we
road
can
with him. I mean,
ask Willona to watch the kids for the weekend, and she can go up there and see him. That's
exactly.
true, because you would have the money. All right, all right.
I'm just saying, that's just 2024 logic. Now, I get
Yeah.
it, there you don't want to be with your man. I get it, but I don't, yeah,
And
whatever.
that whole preaching scene when he was trying, that was just too overboard. I'm like, Lord have mercy. I'm like, come on now. And
So,
when you said, that was funny. That's one of my favorite parts of this episode. And he was like, "What do you say? I mean, what do you something?" And she said, "That was good." That's what I would have said. I said, "That's good." 'Cause I
well, I mean, it's
don't
not like you have to like the preaching. You're just there to make the money. Whatever. I guess maybe I'm just money
Okay,
hungry or something. Just go
you
and
know.
get the money and come back, or do what you gotta do.
All right, moving on to the next scene. Okay,
So they
so they.
go to the they go what we got this, we go they go out and do the service and they see that
Mhm,
it's full of life, full of scams, full of snake charmers and all that. I get it, whatever.
mhm.
And James is like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go. He packs his stuff. He's getting this ready to go.
In one suitcase. It's
I
like,
mean,
I in one suitcase. I'm remembering what your brother be talking about. So our executive producer. That's why I brought up those things about the $700 and 7 days a week, and now the one suitcase, and just
He doesn't have that many clothes,
oh,
Drake. You were the one talking about where's all his clothes.
huh?
You were the one that said where are his clothes and where is his comb. He don't got. He don't got.
Yeah,
Leave James alone. Leave James.
sorry, suitcase, man. This don't make no sense. Okay, go on.
So wow. So yeah, he's getting ready to go, and um, they're JJ talks about how the guy that at the meeting had gotten healed. A man got healed there,
Yeah,
and he thought it was great. And so the driver, comes to the door, and
yeah,
lo and behold, it's the guy that got healed. And so
yeah, yeah,
everybody
yeah,
kind of realizes, wow, this is a scam because the driver's walking,
yeah,
driver's just in on these shenanigans. And so then everybody starts getting righteous. And, it's
yeah.
like, come on,
Here we
except for
go.
JJ.
Go ahead.
Everybody's like, oh, this is kind of, this is what you're doing. You're doing some scams. And I'm like, yeah. And, but, they have a, I guess their eyes are open and they're like, wow, this is not cool. That you got the drivers doing this is in on this scam that you're running. And, maybe James and JJ can be involved in that too as well. So,
Yeah,
and I get it. I think I agree with this part where you don't want your kids to be involved in something corrupt as well. I mean, as far as lying, I wouldn't have my kids do that. I would do it myself. Yeah.
you would do it
Uh,
yourself.
I would do it myself. I'm like, yeah, okay. So yeah, I'll lay down. I don't care. I mean, yeah, it's gonna look stupid, but I don't care. I mean, I don't know. Maybe just call me just an immoral person. I just don't. I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't. I think I probably just do it for a short period of time. But anyway, I think the thing is like as long as I probably wouldn't I would go with you. I would say, okay, Reverend Sam, I'll go with you, but I don't want to do any theatrics. I don't want to do anything that's bad. I just want to I'll speak about just let me have the time. I'll go on stage and just speak about positivity and prosperity.
Yeah.
As JJ's talking, James is getting angrier and so is, and he's like, nah.
Exactly, brother. Put the picture on. I'm sitting up here looking at him at that scene. I was like, "Ooh, James was hot." Ooh, like when you saw JJ get on the floor and act like that, I'm like, he ain't having that.
And I
So
guess
he
it's
changed
just,
his whole mindset.
yeah, I guess when you see your kids like that and you see them acting foolish, it kind of makes you realize, oh wow, that will be me, or I don't want my kids doing that. That's not what I want my kids going towards. So a life of not crime, but just foolishness or something like that and scamming. So he's just trying to protect his kid, which I agree with. Definitely protect your kids. You don't
Yeah,
allow your kids to go out and be, get scammed or do scams or be involved in something that's corrupt. But, as a father, if I was James' wife, I definitely be like, I know, yeah, I don't want my kids out there doing that, but you definitely can. You definitely should be going out there. I mean, I probably be a bad wife to say that, but I'm like, just get the money. Just get, you can at least get a
yeah,
week's worth. I mean, go and do a week. I'll be fine with the kids. Go and get some $700 and then come back. Because that's all you probably because I think with that preacher, I think that if James was to go with that preacher, he probably
yeah.
wouldn't get paid all the time. And I'm like, just go get a week's worth, at least a week or 2 weeks, and then just that'll be it. When you come back, we'll buy a car, we'll move to Detroit, we'll move next to the Jacksons, and then we'll get a job in the car thing or something like that.
Move to Detroit. Why would they move
I'm
to
just saying
Detroit?
move to Detroit because that's where all the factories are. That's where the good jobs are.
Mm.
But the thing is like, or just get enough money that we can just have something we can save, put away, you know, something that we can just save. Or I would tell him, I'm like, you don't need to go on the road with him. You could just do whatever, whenever you need him, like on a part time basis, which would be a good idea.
Yeah.
Just something, have somebody, whenever you need somebody, new, just have James come and just hang out, fly out to one of the cities and, do one of the meetings and then come back and make some money. So anyway, so then James says, no, we're not going to do that. I'm not going to have my son do that. And,
Yeah.
the preacher was like, I respect that. You're always been honest and, it's a shame, but, it's okay. And he leaves. And I respect that. It's good. Um, it's good. It's a good, it shows good character. It does. I have to
Yeah.
say that. But
I know.
so, I think that's pretty much the episode. I know we went through it really fast and we
Oh
had a lot of
well,
opinions.
and then the very last scene, they're all like, they're all in the living room
Still
and
watching
they're
it.
watching, and then they're watching. Yeah, I'm not understanding why they still watching him. And then this is the part I would, okay, never mind. I'm not gonna say it until we're done with it. Um,
No, you can say it.
but yeah, and then he goes and he said something like on the TV, he's preaching like, God give me a sign, and then their TV blows up and then they all laugh. Okay, I'm not gonna say nothing else
You can say it.
until we go to the other part.
What other part?
What would we change?
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, this shows you that their TV, I guess we're right, their TV wasn't really that good of a TV, so if it's closed, so they could have gotten that TV secondhand, but yeah, so I guess we're at the point where what would you change? You can go first.
Okay, first of all, what's one? I would change if Florida let him go. If Florida does let him go, let's say Florida goes and goes and do the preaching thing. I would tell Reverend Sam, look, he gonna have to come home one day a week or something. He can go with you, but come home one day a week at least. So that's one thing I would change. Um, um, the second thing, yeah, okay, so yeah, the second thing at the end where the TV blows up and everybody laughing. First of all, I ain't laughing because we sit up here watching. Now we had this whole argument about whether James should go with this preacher, and we still watching him. Why are we watching him? Why are we watching him? And then we watching him, and the shit blows up. Now we don't have no TV. The only nice entertainment we had, and y'all laughing. So I would change that. I wouldn't have. First of
Exactly,
all, we ain't watching it.
and then when the TV
You
blew it up, that's when they should have. Well, never mind, go ahead and finish.
well, yeah, they could have if the TV was gonna blow up, then they're like, yeah, I don't like no preachers no more, or something, whatever, you know. But I wouldn't be sitting up there laughing. I would be pissed because if I was James, I would be pissed, and I would say I would say the hell with you, Reverend Sam, because you just blew up my whole fucking TV. But then again, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. They wouldn't even be watching that. They wouldn't be watching. They wouldn't be watching it. So I would change that whole scene. I would change the whole scene. I don't think they would have been watching it. And I would be. And I would. I just the fact that the set blew up and they're laughing. Let me tell you, black people and TV. If your TV blew up and you black, you ain't gonna be laughing. You're gonna be pissed. Okay, so that right there, that should not even happen. That's a dumb thing that they put in there because we wouldn't be laughing. That's the only. probably the only one of the only expensive things that I have in the house, and it blows up just because we watching this fool on TV. No, I ain't gonna be laughing. So I probably would scratch that whole scene out.
No, I think I would keep the scene and I would have changed it where the TV blew up and then they would be like, "Wow, we don't have a TV. I wonder how we can buy another one." Oh, why don't we call up Sam so I can get a job so that I can get another TV? Because a week's worth of going out with him will get the. Oh, that just proves that now they don't have a TV. That proves that they should go out. That's a sign that they should go with. He should have gone with Sam. That's what I would change in the scene. I would have been like, oh, we don't got a TV. Well, guess what? We're gonna go and get do what we gotta do. So anyway, yeah. So that just proves that now they don't have a TV. That proves that they should go out. That's a sign that they should go with. He should have gone with Sam. That's what I would change in the scene. I would have been like, oh, we don't got a TV. Well, guess what? We're gonna go and get do what we gotta do. This is a confirmation that we should be making money. That we should go out and do this because there's no other. You don't have any other prospects.
That would work.
You don't have any other prospects, so
That
you
would
might as well
work.
go out and be with the Reverend. That's the
But
thing.
you
It's
get
just like I
lighter.
don't like this, and then everything's cool. Another thing too is like everything's cool at the end of the episode. It's just like if Florida was so against it, why is she how's everything I mean I guess they hugged and everything, and it's just like that would take about a week to you know resolve that issue, but
Uh,
I don't know, but that's just TV for you. But I definitely it would have been a different story. I would have he would have it would have all been about James got a new job and he's just working part-time for a scammer because that's pretty much what I mean. But and then let's see, I don't have anything about what they were wearing. I think, Berta Standis, she starts to wear, midriff clothes. That's cute. When she had her hair up in the bun, that was cute. I like that. Everybody else, same old. Nothing else I would change. I like the storyline. I just would change it where, they would be more prone to, James would be more prone to accepting it and going out and doing that. Or if they didn't go, if James didn't actually go and join him, that they would probably support him and understand where he's coming from. Maybe be a little bit more understanding
yeah.
about how this guy is making money and why he's making
Yeah,
money.
because
It's not and not
James
look
was
at him as a
like
scammer.
begging. Well, yeah, because James was like begging Florida to just go to the meeting.
Yeah, so you know, I don't see there. I mean, another thing too, someone they should have pointed out is that Florida's church is probably no different from this guy's church. No different. I mean, the only thing is that now we know how much the preachers make. We didn't really ask how much they did. I think they probably did because a lot of preachers they had really nice cars like Cadillacs and things like that, and but people overlooked it, and no one ever questioned. No one
At 10
questioned a lot.
minutes.
So that's what I would change. Uh, that's pretty much it. Anything else that you want to talk about? When you think about Walona?
Nah, I mean the usual. She just comes in. So I mean, we did talk about her outfit. Um, you know, Sam was trying to put on the moves on her.
I think the thing that our executive producer brother said is that um, I think that maybe I think what he put is that I think the things that we change is that maybe you know James would go for the job and then probably leave Florida for and then get with
Oh,
Lona or something like that. Um, which is funny.
uh,
Which I mean, hey, if you're gonna write a story, might as well make it good. Happy anniversary to Good Times. February 8th,
yes,
2024 was the 50th anniversary,
50
50
years.
years. And we are very glad to be doing this podcast and honoring it in that way. And we will
Yes.
continue for the whole year because we celebrate good times all year round. And
And
anything you like to say?
happy birthday.
And I like to say, I know we haven't got to the episode yet, which is going to be a while, but rest in peace, Carl Weathers.
Oh yeah, Carl Weathers.
He'll
Yes,
be in an upcoming episode of Good Times. I was going to wait till we got to the episode, but whatever. Um, so that's it for this episode of Hanging and Jiving. We'll be back next week.
sure.
And and do good and do what you gotta do. That's all I gotta say.
Oh, brother. Just don't get caught up.
All right, bye.
See ya.
Bye.